With the end of the tax year fast approaching, it's time to assess what platform and broker we'll use for the next year. Traditionally, Vanguard has been the go-to platform, thanks to their low cost and great funds on offer. However, I don't think I'll use Vanguard ever again, and it's my opinion that most investors aren't best suited to using Vanguard either. Over the past 5 years, the UK investing scene has gone through massive transformation, and whilst Vanguard have remained fairly stagnant, new challenges have emerged, providing innovative offerings and cheaper offerings. And in this video, we'll explore what platform is best suited to you for a stock and shares ISA in the next ISA year. And as part of this, we'll explore the sign-up offers which these platforms are providing, as who doesn't love free money? And this ISA year, there's plenty of platforms which are providing very good offers. But before we get into that, before we look into the platforms on offer, let's first explore why use an ISA in the first place. Why use an ISA account instead of a general investment account? For those not aware, ISAs are a vehicle in the UK which help protect any gains you make from taxes. And they particularly protect you from capital gains tax, which is a tax on any profits you make above £3,000 in a single tax year. With ISA accounts, you're protected from paying this tax, no matter how big your gains are. It's also worth mentioning though that ISAs aren't the only investment vehicle which protect you from tax, as of course pensions provide the best overall mechanism to protect your investments from tax, as not only do they protect your gains from tax, but you also save yourself paying income tax and potentially national insurance too, if you contribute to your pension via salary sacrifice. However, with a pension, there's a big drawback in that you can't withdraw to an age determined by the government, which is currently 55. Whereas with ISAs, the benefit is that you can withdraw any time. ISAs provide the best of both worlds in this way, in that they shield your gains from tax, whilst allow you to retain flexibility to sell investments and withdraw money whenever you want. So for this reason, ISAs are an incredibly popular investment mechanism. And before we look into what platform offers the best stock and shares ISA for you, if you're new to the channel, I'm Alex, a management consultant by day, and on this channel we like to discuss all things personal finance with a particular focus on how to grow your money. If you'd like to follow my own personal finance journey with regular video updates on my Monzo and InvestEngine portfolios, as well as a bunch of other personal finance videos like this one, then I'd greatly appreciate subscribe. But for this video, let's get into it. And in order to find out what platform is best suited to you, we need to compare several platforms in the UK. And for this, we need some criteria to compare the platforms against. We'll keep this simple and compare the platforms across 3 metrics. 3 incredibly important metrics for any investor. The first metric to compare the platforms against will be investment choice, as of course the platform you use has to have the investments you want. The second metric we'll compare the platforms against will be fees, as fees can really eat into your gains, so are incredibly important to look at. And the third metric we'll look at, it's more of a criteria rather than metric, is the sign-up offers, as many platforms in the UK are providing very good sign-up offers, and who doesn't like free money? So now we know the metrics we'll use to compare the platforms, we now need to know what platforms we're actually going to compare. And we're not going to look at every platform available in the UK, as that would take an incredibly long time. Instead, I'll save some time and I've narrowed down the list to 10 platforms in the UK. And I've tried to cover all bases for investor needs, from those who want to stock pick, to those who want to buy funds, to those who want a platform which will choose a portfolio on their behalf. We should have nearly everyone's needs covered with these 10 platforms. It's worth mentioning that all these platforms are of course FCA regulated, and your investments with these platforms are eligible for FSCS protection up to the 85k limit. So now we know this, and now we've heard enough waffle from me, it's time to start the comparison. And let's start off by comparing the platforms across investment choice. This is the most important factor to compare, as a platform has to provide the investments you want. Typically, platforms offer either funds, shares, trusts, ready-made portfolios, or a combination of these. We can see from this list that there's some platforms which have thousands of investment options across different asset types. And then there's other platforms with very few investment options, with Monzo and Wealthify having the fewest investment options on the list, with Monzo having just 3 ready-made portfolios, and Wealthify having 5 ready-made portfolios. You may be thinking, why have you included these platforms on the list? As surely the lack of choice makes these platforms unsuitable for me. However, it's not all about quantity when it comes to investing, it's also about quality. Chelsea supporters will know all about this, as over the last few years they've made a huge quantity of signings. However, it hasn't led to performance on the pitch, due to maybe a focus on quantity over quality. And with investing, it's no different. It's more important to focus on the quality of investment options compared to the quantity to achieve good investment performance. And Wealthify and Monzo offer high quality investment choices, whilst the lack of choice on these platforms will actually be to the benefit for beginner investors, as it makes investing incredibly easy by just keeping it simple. Take Monzo for example. They have 3 funds, each suited to a different risk level. That means that all you need to do to start investing with Monzo is identify which risk level you're suited to, and then invest in the fund aligned to that risk level. And then after that, Monzo handle everything else, and the portfolio you invest in is managed on your behalf. So this makes investing super easy. Wealthify take this even a step further and pick the portfolio on your behalf by asking you a number of questions to determine what portfolio you're suited to, again making it really easy to start investing and keep investing. So given the simplicity and quality of portfolios on offer from Wealthify and Monzo, these platforms are suited to investors who are beginners who don't know what to invest in, and also those investors who just don't want the hassle of choosing an investment and then having to manage it themselves. However, most investors will want to have greater choice in what they invest in, and this is where the next set of platforms come in InvestEngine and Vanguard. These platforms only offer funds but offer a much larger choice than Monzo and Wealthify. And it's these type of platforms which will suit most investors and most of you watching this in fund-based platforms. You may now be thinking, well, I want to stock pick and buy individual shares of companies like Apple, Tesla and Amazon, so these platforms won't suit me. And on paper, this seems like a valid approach, as the companies I just mentioned have seen significant growth in recent years and outstripped the growth of the general market. However, just because they're the biggest and best performing companies today doesn't mean they'll continue to be so in the next 10, 20, 30 years' time. For example, 30 years ago, ExxonMobil were by far the biggest company in the world by market value, and today they're not even in the top 10. Also, if we consider Nvidia, no one would have expected 3 years ago that they would now be bigger in terms of market value than Google. So history shows us that betting on the biggest companies today isn't necessarily the right approach. We simply can't predict the future unless you're a fortune teller, and for this reason, stock picking more generally is considered very risky, and various studies have found that the majority of people who stock pick lose money. But this doesn't mean investing has to be high risk, and funds typically offer a lower risk approach while still providing stable returns. The great thing about funds is that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket like you do with individual stock picking. Instead, your money goes into a range of investments, saving you needing to pick an individual investment you think will do best. This helps reduce risk, since in a fund, if one company doesn't perform, you have others to pick up the slack. So for this reason, the majority of investors are better suited to investing in funds compared to individual stock picking. And InvestEngine and Vanguard offer great selections of globally diversified funds which have historically provided stable returns. So these are 2 very good fund-based platforms. If we look at Vanguard first, Vanguard has 85 funds, all of their own funds. And most famously, they have their life strategy funds, which are similar to the Monzo and Wealthify funds in providing ready-made portfolios. The life strategy funds are effectively 5 ready-made portfolios, each with different combinations of bonds and shares. With this, you can choose a portfolio most aligned to your risk level. So for example, a 100% shares life strategy fund would suit someone typically young and willing to take high risk, whereas a 20% shares and 80% bonds life strategy fund will typically suit someone who's maybe nearing retirement and has a lower risk appetite. Of course, there's plenty of other funds also available on Vanguard's platform, and some of the most popular are their globally diversified funds, such as the Global All Cap and their FTSE All World. They also have funds specific to countries, such as the S&P 500 fund, and also funds specific to investor aims, such as a high dividend yield fund, which focuses on investing on a huge array of companies which offer high dividends. The common theme among all the Vanguard funds is high quality and diversification. If we move on to InvestEngine, they have a much bigger choice of funds, with over 610 funds available on their platform at the time of recording. Since launching, InvestEngine have continually added to their fund range as they listen to their customer needs on what funds they would like to see. So if you do want to invest in funds, it's very likely that InvestEngine have you covered, as they have a huge range of funds, from industry-specific funds to country-specific funds to global funds to precious metal funds to many other themes. So most investors will be covered by the funds on offer from InvestEngine. And a very interesting fact about InvestEngine is that you can invest in Vanguard funds for a lower fee with InvestEngine compared to going direct with Vanguard. And this is the reason why many current and former Vanguard investors are no longer suited to using Vanguard's platform, but are rather suited to InvestEngine's platform, as you get a lot of the same funds, but they're cheaper. And we'll talk more about this in the fees section. It's also worth mentioning that InvestEngine also have another side of their platform, in addition to the DIY side where you choose your own funds. They also have a similar setup to Wealthify with robo-investing, a managed for you option. And with this side of the platform, you're assigned a portfolio based on how you answer a questionnaire. And there's 10 possible portfolio options you'll be assigned. So with InvestEngine, you have the best of both worlds in having two investment mechanisms, in having a choice of either choosing the funds yourself or letting InvestEngine choose a portfolio and manage it on your behalf. And with that, that's the fund-based platforms on this list in Vanguard and InvestEngine. And as I said before, these platforms will suit most investors in the UK, given most long-term investors are best suited to fund investing. However, if you do want to stock pick, then the next set of platforms will best suit, as of course Vanguard and InvestEngine don't offer individual shares, so you'll need to find a platform which offers individual shares if you want to buy individual shares. And the traditional long-standing platforms in the UK, in Hargreaves Lansdown, Interactive Investor, AJ Bell and Best Invest, offer a huge choice not only of individual shares, but also thousands of funds and trusts available on their platforms. These platforms have strong reputations of also providing great additional resources, tools and information to help investors stock pick. However, in recent years, their dominance as the biggest and best stock picking platforms has been disrupted by newer kids on the block, and primarily the newer app-based platforms of Freetrade and Trading 212. Trading 212 particularly has a big choice of stocks and funds, with over 9,000 individual shares, funds, ETFs and trusts. And more generally, both Trading 212 and Freetrade will have all the US and UK companies most people will want to invest in. The advantage of using Trading 212 and Freetrade compared to the more traditional platforms on this list is the user experience, as typically these two apps have a much greater user experience compared to the traditional platforms. So if this is something you value, then this is also something to consider. And if you do want to stock pick, one of these platforms will suit you. So overall, when comparing investment choice, there's 3 buckets to determine which platform will suit you. The first bucket is for complete beginners who want a platform to take care of everything for them. In this bucket, Monzo or Wealthify will likely be the best offering, providing the most simple investment choice while still also providing high quality investment options. The second bucket is where the majority of long-term investors, will fit. And this is for those investors who want to invest in funds only and want to choose their funds. And here, Vanguard or InvestEngine will suit. And in my opinion, InvestEngine offer the better choice, given they offer more investment options and also allow you to invest in Vanguard funds at a lower fee, which we'll come on to. And the final bucket is for the experienced investors and those looking to stock pick. And in this bucket, the rest of the platforms will suit. And Hargreaves Lansdown is typically seen as the leader of the traditional platforms, and Trading 212 the leader of the newer platforms. So one of these platforms will likely suit you if you are looking to stock pick. And to determine which of those platforms from the stock picking platforms will suit, we need to look at other factors. Hopefully we've already narrowed down what platform will suit you based on investment choice, but let's narrow it down further and let's look at the next metric to compare these platforms. And the next metric is fees. And this is where big differences emerge between the platforms, particularly the stock picking platforms. Platforms typically have 2 main types of fee. Firstly, a platform fee, which may also be called a management fee, and this covers the cost of using the platform. And the second fee type is dealing fees, and these cover the costs of buying and selling different investments. There are also other fees associated with investing, such as fund fees, which you'll need to pay on any platform if you invest in a fund, and there may also be an FX fee, but we're going to focus on these two fee types as they're the main fees to compare these platforms. If we firstly look at the beginner investor platforms in Wealthify and Monzo, we can see both of these platforms have no dealing fees, they just have platform fees. Monzo is the cheaper option in terms of the platform fee at 0.45% compared to 0.60% for Wealthify. So if you are a beginner investor, Monzo is the cheaper option. If we now look at the fund-based platforms in InvestEngine and Vanguard, both are incredibly cheap in terms of no dealing fees and a very small management fee, platform fee for Vanguard at 0.15%. InvestEngine have no platform fees on the DIY side of the platform, and on the robo-investing side, they have a 0.25% fee. For most people, they'll be looking at the DIY side of InvestEngine's platform, and this means no fees in terms of no dealing fee and no platform fee. And this is crazy value for a stock and shares ISA. With InvestEngine, the only fees you'll need to pay are for the funds themselves, the fund management fees. And as I said earlier, if you invest in funds, you'll need to pay these fund fees on any platform you use. So because of the low cost nature, the no cost nature of InvestEngine's platform, I recommend them as the best fund focused platform. However, they don't offer individual shares, so if you want to stock pick, then we'll need to assess the other platforms. All the traditional platforms on the list have dealing fees for buying and selling shares. So a fee is added every time you buy or sell shares on these platforms. And Hargreaves Lansdown had the most significant share dealing fee of £11.95 per trade. This is a huge amount of money for just buying and selling shares, and it can really add up if you're a regular trader. However, Hargreaves aren't all bad, as both themselves and Best Invest don't charge dealing fees for buying and selling funds. They only charge dealing fees for buying and selling shares. Although if you are focused on buying funds, then Vanguard or InvestEngine will be best suited to you, as they have lower overall fees with no dealing fees and lower management fees. All the traditional platforms charge management fees, platform fees, with most having a percentage management fee. This fee ranges from 0.25% on AJ Bell to 0.45% on Hargreaves Lansdown. An interactive investor don't charge a percentage fee at all, but they rather charge a fixed fee of $4.99 per month for investments under £50,000. That's their management fee, a fixed fee of $4.99 per month. And this management fee could actually be the cheapest of the traditional platforms depending on how much you invest, as the benefit of a fixed fee is that the more you deposit, the less the percentage fee will be. And more generally, Interactive Investor have the cheapest share dealing fee of the traditional platforms at just $3.99. Nonetheless, all the traditional platforms have much superior fees compared to the next set of platforms in the trading apps of Freetrade and Trading 212. These platforms come out on top in terms of fees for the stock picking platforms, as both don't have dealing fees for shares or funds. Freetrade does have a management fee of $5.99 per month for their basic plan. However, Trading 212 has no management fee. The only significant fee with Trading 212 is an FX charge of 0.15% applied when you buy investments of other currencies. So for this reason, Trading 212 is the cheapest stock picking platform on this list. It knocks the competition out of the park in terms of fees. And more generally, overall, now we've compared the platforms across investment choice and fees, it's clear to me that Trading 212 and InvestEngine are the standout platforms across these metrics, as both offer low fees and incredibly high choice for investment options. The last factor we'll use to compare these platforms is sign-up offers and bonuses. This factor shouldn't determine and decide what platform you'll use for your stock and shares ISA, as the investment choice and fee factors are much more important. However, it's still worth looking into whether you can get sign-up offers and bonuses, as who doesn't like free money? And since it's ISA season at the time of recording, there's a huge amount of offers at the moment, so let's go through them. It's worth saying that not every platform has sign-up offers, and some which do have sign-up offers don't have achievable ones. So we're only going to focus on the achievable sign-up offers in this video to compare the platforms against. Most of the platforms have a tiered system for their bonuses, where you get a bigger bonus when you deposit more money. For example, Wealthify offer a tiered bonus system with up to £500 cashback, and the tiered system starts at a £50 bonus for deposits or transfers totaling between £1,000 and £4,999. The next set of offers are from the trading apps in Trading 212 and Freetrade, and both offer a similar scheme where you can get a free share of up to £100 when you're a new customer and fund your account. And if you'd like to benefit from this offer, then I have a link in the description below if you're a new customer and want to use one of these two platforms. With Freetrade, there's also an additional sign-up offer at the moment where you can get a free share guaranteed of a certain value if you top up a certain amount. And this works in a tiered system like Wealthify and BestInvest. However, this system starts at a high level of deposits to get anything, with the tiering start at £10,000 to get £100 in value of shares. Nonetheless, the free shares offered from Freetrade and from Trading 212 for their new sign-up offers are neat. So if you want to use one of these platforms, I have links in the description below. The last sign-up offers from platforms on this list are from InvestEngine, and in my opinion, I've saved the best till last, as they currently have two great sign-up offers. The first, where if you're a new customer, you can get a bonus of up to £50 when you deposit £100 or more, and the link for this is in the description below. The second sign-up offer is a tiered system sign-up offer, where you can get different levels of bonuses depending on how much you invest, so similar to the others we've gone through, and the tiering starts at £1,000, so you can get a £20 bonus when you deposit £1,000. And because InvestEngine have two sign-up offers which are achievable, in my opinion, they offer the best sign-up offers at the moment at the time of recording. And all the sign-up offers I've mentioned have links in the bottom of the description, so you'll be able to find them there. So overall, now I've compared the platforms across the three metrics of investment choice, fees, and sign-up offers. In my opinion, there's two standout platforms from this list of 10. Firstly, Trading 212 in terms of the stock picking platforms, as they have incredibly low fees, whilst also having huge investment choice, with over 9,000 funds, shares, and other asset types. So in my opinion, Trading 212 is the best stock picking platform on this list at the time of recording. And in terms of the fund-based platforms, InvestEngine tops the pile in my opinion because of their low fees and huge choice with over 610 different ETFs, and that number is building and building. And for most of you watching this, InvestEngine will be better suited, as most investors are best suited to fund-based investing compared to stock picking. And if you'd like a guided tutorial of InvestEngine, I have another video around here. But for this video, thanks for watching.